Hello, my name is Blair and welcome to another Science is Cool. Today in Science is Cool, we will take a look into these two types of open source office suite, which is the LibreOffice and the OnlyOffice. Let's begin with our LibreOffice. So let's take a look into our LibreOffice. So the history of LibreOffice actually comes from a Star Office way back 1985. It started with Star Writer for the Star Division, which is acquired by Sun Microsystem in 1999 and eventually led into the acquisition of the Oracle Corporation in 2010 and eventually led into this new branch of open source software organization, which is named and branded as the Open Office Organization through the openoffice.org. So I have these two laptops are basically my reference and actual laptop to be used for this demonstration between the two open source software, which is the LibreOffice and the OnlyOffice. So LibreOffice was starting way back in 2011 as the foundation from the Star Writer, the Star Division, which led right now into this LibreOffice document foundation. And since then, it was really making good, especially when it releases the first LibreOffice as a brand, January 25, 2011. That was like 11 years ago. So it was really like fresh from the box at the time. It was buggy, it was not really good. Especially way back then, the open source programmers are really struggling into this new system, which is still developed from this Star Writer and eventually led into this LibreOffice. I remember OpenOffice at the time was really buggy, but right now as LibreOffice as their brand, it's really kind of like good already, and it has this very powerful compatible with all of these open sources, and even Microsoft Office files can be opened with this LibreOffice. It's really good to know this as the alternative. So we have the LibreOffice Writer. The word processor are similar with this function with the Microsoft Office and of course WordPerfect. It is a basic text editor. And of course, let's move on with the LibreOffice Calc, which is a spreadsheet program. It is similar to our so-called Microsoft Excel and Lotus 123. I remember that one way back then. It features, the graphs, the numerical equation, plus the records for the database. And of course, it's not only for this type of program that we are basically using. This is also for the inventory and so forth. And the next thing is the Impress for the so-called presentation of your documents, like the Microsoft PowerPoint. So let's go down to which is the LibreDraw. It's kind of the Corel Draw, the crossover with Corel Draw and the Microsoft PowerPoint, and at the same time it is a crossover with the so-called Adobe Photoshop, also the Microsoft Publisher. So this free software, which is the LibreDraw, it's basically a combination of this so-called different types of application or acceptables. So they also have the LibreMath, which is the equation, which is I don't know if there is a a similar with Microsoft, but I think there is none. LibreMath is a combination of document, the spreadsheet, also a crossover with the vectors. So it really has this top-notch type of thing, which is no other than LibreMath. And the last one, basically a database for the management program, is similar with the Microsoft Access. LibreOffice Base allows that database to create and generate forms and report database contents like the Access of Microsoft. You can create your simple embedded database and store it in a document file, which is using the Java base. So this LibreOffice Base is really like the counterpart of the Microsoft Access. And of course, the best thing of LibreOffice, it's open source. It can run with Microsoft Windows and the Mac OS, even Android phone or Android tablets. You can name it. It can run everything. That's the feature of the LibreOffice. So let's try to look into this so-called OnlyOffice. So OnlyOffice just started only a few years back then, like 2012, I think. Yeah, it's 2012 when this OnlyOffice started, beginning from scratch. It is a free software office suite developed by different programmers, and basically it's a project management tool which is aimed for communication for the corporates and documentation. So the OnlyOffice has only 1, 2, and 3 application: documents, spreadsheet, and presentation, compared to LibreOffice has 6 compared to this 3 in OnlyOffice. So OnlyOffice has this document which is basically like the old Microsoft Word. I think this is way back like early 2000. So let's open the spreadsheet. So the spreadsheet also has this similar interface with the Excel, which is the spreadsheet. And the presentation, the OnlyOffice presentation, it's basically like the same with the old version of PowerPoint presentation. So it's kind of neat. You have this alternative from, instead of paying a lot of dollars, pesos, baht, it's just so sad that you need to pay for that kind of application just to work with your office. But here in Linux world, it's open source and it's absolutely free, and it is multiple platform too. You can work it with your Mac OS, Microsoft Windows, and of course it is based on Linux. So for me to recommend this two type of office, probably I'll recommend the LibreOffice compared to OnlyOffice. But if you are just working with 3 types of application like the spreadsheets, the document, and of course presentation, so go for OnlyOffice. But of course, if you are really into different types of editing, like to make your draw, to make your calculation, to make your equation, to make more than like Microsoft Office, probably I could recommend you to use LibreOffice. So that's about it for now for our Science School, taking a look into this 2 office suite, which is our LibreOffice and at the same time our OnlyOffice. We will talk about next time with general science, health, social science, computer science, and many more. For now, that's it for now. I'm Blair saying bye for now and see you in the next episode. Bye.